What's going on, people? Tony here, and this is Football Fan TV. I am here with my brother Benji. That treble guy. I've seen a change in the name just because the FA Cup over the weekend was pocketed. It's in the blue side of Manchester, and of course, over the weekend on Saturday they are going to be playing in the Champions League final, and they'll complete the treble. Hopefully, Benji, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It's a night of the full moon, so I'm actively manifesting the treble, and that's why I've renamed myself to the treble guy. But yeah, doing all right.
Mm.
It's been a good weekend, and yeah, excited about the week to come. What's up?
Well, you're so happy you have already two trophies. On the other hand, I'm just looking forward to the community shield that I believe you people will happily hand over to us. Since it's a round thing, we shall use it for eating because we don't have anything. We need something to start the seasons on a high, and then we get maybe motivated, and we first forget how we bottle things and all that. So
And
I think
unfortunately, Community Shield will be the first time Calvin Phillips starts his Man City career officially, and I think he will play with Kovacic, and yeah, it will be another business as usual win for Man City over Arsenal. So too bad you're gonna have to wait
okay.
until the end of next season. Yeah.
Well, now talking about end of the season, officially in England, the season has ended because the FA Cup was what we were waiting for, the domestic cup. Now it's all done. It's only City that is waiting to play the finals in the Champions League, that is in Europe, to see how the season goes. But now today we're just going to break down my team of the season, and we're also going to have your team of the season, Benji. I don't know, where do we start? Do we start with you, or I go with my team of the season?
Let's start with you, bro.
Okay. In my goal, the Aaron Ramsdale. Uh, reasons that's why I'm choosing him. He has had very crucial saves against Liverpool. That is one game we'd look at. And other than that, he has really kept the squad sometimes against Arsenal. Uh, decent ones, just because he has been pulling very nice saves. My right back, Kieran Trippier, came back, fitted into the team for Newcastle so well, and man, he captained the team. He has been their skipper. He has been giving them assists. Scored a very, very beautiful free kick against Manchester City. People, I think, wrote him off because I think they're looking at the age and also the fact that he went to Atletico. Then from Atletico, he was tossed back to Newcastle. They thought he was just coming for the money and all that, but he has had a good season and is going to be my right back. Now, in defense, my first centre back, I'll have John Stones. Okay, he has been having a hybrid role for Manchester City this season, maybe as a centre back and also as as a DM. He has been so much in the midfield, making things tick. Just like over the weekend against Manchester United, he was having time of his life, rolling through that midfield, distributing the ball so nicely. And yeah, I would have him on my first centre back. On the second centre back, I would have William Saliba. It was not the best of the end. Towards the end of the season, it was not the best because he got injured, and then you saw how Arsenal, I think, missed him, but the games where he played, Arsenal could get clean sheets. The defense was composed. Arsenal could play so well from the back because he's also good when it comes to distributing the balls and all that. So I would go with William Saliba as my second centre back, and then my number three or my left back, I am going to choose Etupinan. He has pulled out a very good season. You see how Brighton does with these players, the side players that are not known from South America. Then they come and their value gets up because of the shift they normally put in. Estupinian has had a number of assists and very good defensive displays. He has been very vital to that team for Brighton that has gone to Europe for the first time in their history. And I'm going to have him as my left back. And then on my midfield three, I'll have my midfield three. In the base, I'm going to have Rodri. No any other person can take that position because Rodri has been exceptionally well. I've been telling you all season that he's one of the best or the most important players for City. If he just gets injured or if he got any injury in the course of the season, at some point I believe Manchester City would feel it. However much Gundogan would come in and maybe do the job, he wouldn't do the way Rodri gives. He gives the team very good stability and balance either in possession or out of possession. And he just gives it's just like a whole lot of a package for Manchester City. Now, my other midfielder I would have Odegaard. He captained Arsenal the whole season, though it was not the best of the season. They fought, but they came short in the last games. But he has been a good midfielder, scoring, I think, 15 or 14 goals. They're all non-penalty goals. You can imagine. So he has had a very good season. His numbers are good, and he has also had the assist. He has been carrying the team at some point. He has been leading by example in the team because he's not one of the most vocal captains one could have. Then I would have KDB as my third midfielder on the left side because KDB is one of the reasons as to why Haaland has been balling. Man City has been ticking. He has also been scoring the goals besides the assists he has been having. So yeah, I would have KDB. Of course, any other striker in the world would love to have KDB in their team. So my midfield three will have Rodri in the base, Odegaard on the right, KDB on the left. Going to my forward three, it was a very tough one. On my left winger, I would have Rashford. I had to battle between him and maybe Martinelli and some other wingers that have been so good in the season. But Rashford has been carrying Manchester United. It reached a point whereby if he didn't score a goal, Manu is not winning goals. So basically, he carried Manu. Just after the World Cup, he was on fire. And you know the returns, he has had 16 goals in a single Premier League season. Not so bad for a Manu team that was depending so much on him. And then on my right, I am going to go with Saka. Not a biased opinion because we could throw in there Salah because Salah has been good as well. But what Saka did for Arsenal, probably he takes it for me. And of course, my number nine is non-negotiable. It's Erling Haaland scoring 36 goals in his debut season in the Premier League. So let me go through my team. In goal, Ramsdale. That's my Premier League team of the season. Ramsdale, Trippier, Stones, Saliba, Estupinian, Odegaard, Rodri, KDB, Saka, Haaland, Rashford. That's my team.
And who's your coach?
My coach, I am going to choose Dizabi. I wouldn't go with Ateta. I would go with Dizabi because I like the way he has drilled his team, the way they are very good via possession. They are possession-based team, and once they dominate you, they get to dominate you the way they dominated Arsenal at the Emirates. So my coach would be Roberto Dizabi.
Okay, that's an interesting team. I'll not waste time. I'll just talk about the parts where we differ. In goal, I'll definitely go with Nick Pope. I think he's been hands down the best keeper in the Premier League this season. He comes second after De Gea in terms of clean sheets. And you know the Newcastle backline, the whole backline for me has been exceptional. So my squad has Trippier. Instead of Saliba in the start, I have Botman because I feel like he has come into the Premier League and settled in real quick. So I'll have Botman over Saliba. Stones is actually not on my first team. I think our best defender this season has been Diaz. Diaz has been consistent throughout the season. He has been really solid. So many blocks, so many interceptions. When we move into the midfield, it's the same three that you picked. And
How
then the
about your
forward
number
line,
three?
my number three is the Stupinan. The Stupinan. He had five
Oh, okay, that
assists,
one we agreed.
5 assists and a goal, and he was also very solid in one-on-one defense. So for me, he was a no-brainer. I actually didn't have any other number three in mind because the two that I would think of are not auxiliary number threes, and that's Ake and Akanji. Because I can't pick Zinchenko, who has had only 2 assists and a goal for Arsenal. People will say his impact on Arsenal has been huge, but for me, it hasn't. So yeah, and then when it comes to the front line, I'm using two strikers, Haaland and Kane. Kane is really good at picking out a fellow striker, and I can't leave 30 goals on the bench. So Harry Kane makes it to my first team. Rashford doesn't even make it to my bench because, one, I don't think he fits into a team that does the high press because Manu doesn't do that. I think he's had his best season as a player, but I can't guarantee that he will give me that. So I'm not picking Rashford at all. On my substitutes bench, I have Martinelli, I have Salah. I cannot leave out Salah. You know, he has remained consistent over the years, and I believe coming off the bench, he will just be super fast and super aggressive and accurate for anyone to handle. I have Akanji on my bench. I have who else do I have on my bench? Let's see. In the middle, yeah, I have Ivan Tony, because I think after the first two, he's been my best striker after Haaland and Kane. I have Bruno Guimaraes, who has been really solid for Newcastle. Then I have John Stones, who became, a midfielder mid-season. I have Luke Shaw, surprisingly, but he is my only Manchester United player to make it to the team. I have him on the bench because I think he has had his most consistent season. And then, of course, I have the signing of the season, who is Akanji. And in goal, I would bring in Ramsdale as my backup goalkeeper. So yeah, that's my team for the season. I'll give an honorable mention to Jensen in Brentford. I think his midfield has been superb. I think David Raya in the goal for Brentford has also been really good. I think he has the most saves in the Premier League. I'd also mention McAllister. I think besides what he did in the World Cup, he has been quite a fixture for Brighton, along with Pascal Gross, Joe Linton, who turned into a midfielder and has really embraced that role and played really well. I think there've been so many performances this season that stand out, but for me that would be my first 11 and the substitutes as
Just
well.
run through your team again.
So at the helm, I have picked Eddie Howe because I think, of course, obviously, I'm a Man City fan, so Pep would be my pick. But Eddie Howe has done so much with so little, and I'm really impressed with how Newcastle ended that season. So Eddie Howe, Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier, Estupinan, Botman, Ruben Diaz, Rodri, Saka, Odegaard, Haaland, KDB, and Harry Kane. And then my
Okay,
subs,
I
we
think
have Ramsdale, Akanji, Luke Shaw, Stones, Saliba, Bruno Guimaraes, Ivan Toney, Salah, and Martinelli.
my bench, I think I would have Salah, I would have Kane, though it was also very hard for me to decide and put him on the bench. I would have Kane, I would have Nick Pope, I'll have Guimaraes, I would have Wilson, because Wilson has also had good numbers for Newcastle. I would have him there, and then I would have Martinelli, I would have McAllister as well. And then who else stood out? I think Casemiro would be on my bench as well. I think that completes my bench. Nick Pope, Salah, Harry Kane, Martinelli, Guimaraes, Wilson, then Casemiro. That would make my bench for my team of
All
the
right.
season. Said
Chelsea.
Akanji is your signing of the season.
Yes, he is. He's my signing of the season, ahead of Haaland, because
Uh,
he came in as a bargain, and so little was expected from him. But look at what he has done. Yeah, we all expected Haaland to do what he has done, not to the level that he has reached, but we expected him to score goals, which he has done. Akanji, most people would predict that coming into Man City, you take a season on the bench like Calvin Phillips, like Ake, like Grealish. You take a while to get into the first team, but this guy came in and was able to sit in properly. And yet, Stones, like all our centre backs, have been fit, but the guy is just undroppable. So for me, he's the signing of the season.
yeah, I wouldn't agree more. Like I even said when we were watching the game on Saturday, I said Kanji is arguably the best signing of the season because it looks like he has been in Man City for the last 2 or 3 seasons, but it's just his first season and he's starting either at centre back, either at right center, at right back, or at left back, or at left centre back. He's all there. Looks like
Yeah,
the coach Pep has to look for ways of fitting him in the team because he is so good. You can't have any excuse of or any excuses of dropping him single game.
yeah.
I believe is as well my signing of the season. So well, we don't know what your team of the season has been. You who is viewing or watching, you can drop it in the comment section. We'll read it out and next time we'll see how to bring your team of the season in. And also remember to subscribe to the channel if it's your first time to come or be part of the channel. Make sure you subscribe down there, smash the like thing, share, and leave us a comment. So that has been my team and also Benji's team of the season. Maybe our disagreements were, and somehow it was not so much. I think it was just the hurricane and then the center back. Basically, I think that was the change, and maybe the Rashford bit of it. So that was my team of the season. That was Benji's team of the season. So a little bit agreements there, but I think we've unified it and said how. So Benji, before you sign out on this one,
Well, I have to say it's been an interesting Premier League season. It kind of reminded me of the Leicester season, not in terms of how it ended, but in terms of how many different teams fell off. Because at the beginning of the season, we all predicted Liverpool and Chelsea to, not fall off the way they did, but somehow, somehow Chelsea couldn't even make top 10. So yeah, full of surprises. I can't wait for the next one. And yeah, this season gave birth to our pod, so I can't wait for the next season. Fantasy with the pod, a whole bunch of ideas coming in. We're excited for the next chapter. We're looking forward to hosting, some of the fans on the pod, and yeah, just really excited for what we have to do next season, bro.
so it has been a nice season. The pod has come in between in the middle of the season, and we are so much happy that you're part of the growth. All of you who have subscribed and always view our content and also share, talk about it. Much love. Thank you so much. We do appreciate. And I think for this one, we're going to keep it here. We hope to see you on the next ones. Always be checking on the channel because you just turn on the notification. Just turn it on because any content we just put in there, you'll be able to get it first. And so for now, we're not going to end the stream, but we are going to sign out.